Seattle International Film Festival kicks off tomorrow, and this morning we're highlighting another short film with a local tie. Style, a Seattle basketball story, highlights the history behind one of America's most elite youth basketball programs and its connection to Seattle's Central District. Tyrah's down in the Arc Lounge this morning with director Bryan Tucker and producer Gavin Sullivan. How exciting.
This is exciting, Steve. Another great film here in the lineup of SIFF. Thank you guys for coming into the Arc Lounge today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Great to have you on the show. So first, just tell us about the backstory of this film, Style, a Seattle basketball story, and the youth program that's being highlighted. What's it all about?
Yeah, so it's about the Rotary Style basketball program. It's one of the most elite youth basketball programs in the country, and there hasn't really been a story about it, and so we just felt like there was an opportunity to kind of highlight the work that really these two men, Daryl and Dan, started about 30 years ago. And another producer on the project, Jackson Clough, he came up through the Style program, and so he had maintained relationships with, Daryl, Dan, and everybody in the program. So he was the one who got us access, and then we just kind of took it from there.
Was there a specific interest in youth basketball or basketball in general that kind of prompted this project, this story?
Yeah, I mean, I could take that one. We've been exploring the culture of basketball in
Okay.
Seattle, and we had done a project prior to that in Garfield High School and their program, and followed them through state a couple years ago when both the girls and the boys won state. Great opportunities to get a window into one basketball program in Seattle. And on the heels of that, and wanting to continue to tell that story, everybody was pointing us to the Seattle Style program. And you can't not look at Seattle basketball and appreciate what Daryl and Dan have built in the culture and this pipeline through Seattle youth basketball into college and then into the NBA. They've had a couple dozen players come through this program into the NBA, including Paulo Banchero, who was Rookie of the Year and the #1 draft pick just 3 years ago. So it's a remarkable story. It's a remarkable program that prior to us doing this film has not really been featured very much here, either locally or nationally. And that's really to Daryl and Dan's credit. I mean, they've really wanted to avoid the spotlight as much as possible. But we decided that it would be important to highlight this program.
Yeah, very cool that they're getting this platform on this grand scale, and I love the tie to the Central District, Garfield High School, the championship teams. What do you all want people to take away from this film? I'm assuming you both took away something in your research and the interviews you conducted, all of that stuff. But what do you want the public to take away?
Yeah, just like the impact that Daryl and Dan have had on so many young people. It's not just the select people that have made it all the way to the NBA, but so many have gone on to get full ride scholarships. But even then, they don't just celebrate those players. Like they've worked with so many young people that they've still maintained, contact with, no matter what career choices they made. And so people that we've talked to always just go back to just that family environment and being more than basketball, really. Like they just learned life skills kind of growing up through the Seattle Style Rotary program.
That's awesome. I love the emphasis on community.
Well, and family. Yeah, I mean, that's
family.
part of, they call it the Style family, right? And that's very much the feeling that you get. In fact, my kids go to the Rotary Boys and Girls Club for after-school program, and it's just, it's a center of a community, and it's something that's really special.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the full circle moment that your kids are a part of it as well. Yeah. So the film is playing as part of Short Fest opening night. How did it feel seeing your film make it to SIFF? Like it's going to be featured at SIFF. It's a big deal.
It's always a big deal to get into SIFF. SIFF is a really competitive festival, and it's really fun to attend and see, not just other local filmmakers who might have a film in it, but people come from all over the world with their films. So it's a privilege just to get to meet people who are, coming to Seattle for the first time, and then just to see a bunch of amazing films, as well as, different mixers and parties that the festival puts on. So every time you're in it, it's like, oh, it's really exciting.
Never gets old, huh? Year
Well,
after year.
for this guy, he's there quite often, so you know it's not the first time.
Well, congratulations on coming back.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Repeat.
Yes.
So Bryan and Gavin, you're both scheduled to attend the showing of the film. When will it play? And when can we go and watch?
Friday. I believe 7 p.m. is the start time, but get there early.
Okay.
Tickets will be scarce. But yeah, it'll be a great night, you know, because in addition to our film, there's, I want to say, a half dozen other films that will be playing. And so you get a taste of a wide breadth of different styles of films. And they're short, they're sweet, and so you get a nice little taste of all these different approaches to film from very different viewpoints, and it's really a great opportunity, especially for the Seattle community, to have access to those types of films.
Yeah, it's nice that local filmmakers are being highlighted at this level. I was going to ask you, because you're basketball fans, of course, and we've been talking a lot about expansion teams and the possibility of the Sonics coming back to
Forever,
Seattle.
we've been
Right. So is this something that you two are hoping for?
Of course.
You're like, duh.
Yes.
I think, you know, it's interesting, we talk about this a lot, especially with respects to this project. It was just how much basketball culture has thrived in Seattle in the absence of an NBA team. In fact, you look at the Style program and just how much it has grown since the Sonics have left. And usually you look at NBA franchises as an anchor in a community to be able to help, you know, develop and build a community of basketball. So we get excited not just by the prospect of being able to, you know, watch an NBA franchise and see some of the greatest players ever to come through Seattle, but also the resources that come from that, and for kids to be able to look up to NBA players and local heroes. And so I think that it will only add to a really thriving basketball culture that already exists here.
Right, the scene is already there. Well, the Style program sounds awesome. It's so great that those kids are getting this opportunity, and we're excited to see how their story is being told through your lens. Thank you so much for coming in to the Arc Lounge and coming on the show.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Steve, it sounds like a great film. I definitely want to watch it. I just love the emphasis on the community aspect and how the people who come through the